The fog was so thick that night I couldn't see my own hands on the steering wheel. Just white, endless white. And then, through the mist, I saw them. 8 figures, standing perfectly still on the side of the road. Not moving, not breathing, just watching. Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, where cell service dies and roads twist into nothing, there are stories people don't tell outsiders. Stories about things that live in the hollows, things that walk on 2 legs but aren't quite human anymore. These mountains are old, older than memory, and they remember everything. The people who vanish, the voices that call from the trees, the shadows that move wrong. What you're about to hear, these aren't campfire tales. These are accounts, encounters, 8 of them, each one darker than the last, each one real enough to make you question what's possible and what's been hiding in those mountains all along. So before we go deeper, before the road gets too dark to turn back, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because here at Chills from Reality, every story leaves a mark, one you might not forget. Now, let's begin. The first encounter happened in October of 2019. A man named Daniel was driving through Harlan County, Kentucky, late, maybe 2 in the morning. He'd been visiting family and the drive back was long. Mountain roads, no streetlights, just his headlights cutting through the dark. He said the radio started acting strange first. Static, then voices. Not like a station, more like whispers bleeding through the frequency. He turned it off, but the whispers didn't stop. They were coming from outside the car now. Faint, rhythmic, like chanting. That's when he saw the figure, standing in the middle of the road. Tall, too tall, arms hanging down past its knees, its head tilted at an angle that made Daniel's stomach turn. He slammed the brakes. The car screeched to a stop maybe 10 feet away. The figure didn't move. Daniel sat there, engine idling, heart pounding. He couldn't see its face. The headlights hit it straight on, but it was like the light bent around it, like the thing was made of shadow. He honked the horn. Nothing. He flashed his high beams. Still nothing. And then, slowly, it started walking toward the car. Not fast, not running, just walking, 1 foot in front of the other. Deliberate, patient. Daniel's hands were frozen on the wheel. He wanted to move, wanted to drive, but something kept him there, like his body wouldn't obey. The thing got closer, 5 feet away, then 3. Daniel could see it now, or rather, he could see the absence of it. Where its face should have been, there was just darkness, a void, like someone had cut a hole in reality. And then it stopped, right in front of the hood. It tilted its head the other way, slowly, and raised one impossibly long arm, pointed directly at Daniel. That broke the spell. Daniel threw the car in reverse and floored it, tires screaming. He backed up maybe 50 yards before spinning the wheel and taking off down a side road. His hands were shaking so bad he could barely grip the wheel. He didn't stop driving until he hit the highway, until there were lights, other cars, people. But when he looked in his rearview mirror, just for a second, he swore he saw it again, standing at the edge of the trees, watching him leave. Daniel reported it to local police the next day. They took his statement, didn't seem surprised. One officer mentioned that others had seen something similar on that same stretch of road. 7 reports in the last 3 years, all describing the same thing. The tall figure, the impossible proportions, the darkness where a face should be. None of the witnesses ever went back. The second account came from a woman named Emily. She was hiking the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina. Solo hike. She'd done it before, knew the terrain. But this time, something felt wrong from the start. The trail was too quiet. No birds, no insects, not even wind. Just silence. She told herself it was nothing, kept walking. But the deeper she went, the heavier the air became. Like the forest was holding its breath, like something was waiting. Around midday, she stopped to rest near a creek. The water was clear, cold. She filled her bottle and sat on a flat rock. That's when she noticed the trees. They were marked. Scratches, deep gouges in the bark, running vertically down the trunks. Too high to be from any animal she knew, and too deliberate, too uniform. She stood up, looked around. Every tree within sight had the same marks. That's when she heard it. Footsteps. Behind her. She turned around. Nothing. She waited, listened. The footsteps started again, closer this time, matching her rhythm exactly, like something was mimicking her. She called out. No answer. She started walking faster. The footsteps followed, always just out of sight, always behind her. She broke into a jog, then a run, branches whipping her face, roots catching her boots. Her breath came in gasps, her heart hammered against her ribs. And then she stopped, because ahead of her, standing directly in the middle of the trail, was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, barefoot, wearing a torn white dress. Her hair hung over her face. She wasn't moving, just standing there. Emily's breath caught in her throat. "Are you okay?" she asked. The girl didn't respond. Emily took a step closer. "Sweetie, are you lost?" The girl's head tilted, slowly, like a bird, and then she smiled. But it wasn't a child's smile. It was too wide, too many teeth, and her eyes. When Emily finally saw them through the hair, they were black, completely black. No whites, no pupils, just darkness. The girl took a step forward. Emily stumbled backward. The girl giggled, but the sound was wrong, too deep, too old. Emily turned and ran. She didn't stop until she reached the parking lot. Didn't look back, didn't wait. She threw her gear in the car and drove. Her hands were still shaking when she got home 2 hours later. She never hiked that trail again. A week later, she looked up reports from that area, found a forum where hikers shared experiences. 3 other people had posted about seeing a little girl on that same section of trail. Same description, same smile. One person said they followed her, said she led them deeper into the woods. They got lost for 6 hours before finding their way back. Another said they took a photo. When they looked at it later, the girl wasn't in the frame, but her shadow was. The third encounter is darker, stranger. A family of 4 was driving through West Virginia, headed to a cabin they'd rented for the weekend. Mom, Dad, 2 kids in the back. It was late afternoon, overcast, the kind of gray that makes everything look washed out. They took a wrong turn. GPS lost signal, phone service died. They ended up on a dirt road that wasn't on any map. The dad kept driving, thinking it would loop back eventually. It didn't. Instead, they came to a town, or what was left of one. Old buildings, boarded windows, rusted signs hanging crooked. Not a single person in sight. The mom said it felt like driving through a photograph, like the place had been frozen in time. They drove slowly through the main street, looking for someone, anyone, but the town was empty. A gas station with pumps so old they still showed cents per gallon. A diner with faded lettering. A church with a collapsed steeple. Everything gray, everything still. And then the daughter screamed. She was pointing out the window, at one of the houses. In the second-floor window, a face was staring down at them. Pale, expressionless, too pale. The dad stopped the car. They all looked. The face didn't move, didn't blink. And then, another face appeared in the window next to it. Then another. Then another. All staring, all identical, all perfectly still. The mom counted them. 6 faces, all in different windows, all watching. The son started crying. The dad hit the gas and tore out of that town as fast as the dirt road would let him. Dust kicking up behind them. The buildings blurring past. When they finally found the highway again, the mom turned around to check on the kids. The daughter was crying. The son was pale, shaking. And on the back window, smudged in the condensation, were handprints. Small handprints. From the outside. But they'd been driving. Fast. No one could have touched the car. The dad pulled over. They all got out, checked the vehicle. The handprints were still there. Dozens of them. All over the back window, the trunk, the bumper. Small hands, child-sized. They tried to wipe them off. They wouldn't smudge. It wasn't until they got to a car wash the next day that the prints finally came off. The family never found that town again. They tried, drove the same route, but the dirt road wasn't there anymore. Like it had never existed. Have you ever felt like you were being watched in the woods? Like something just beyond your vision was waiting for you to turn around? Leave a comment below. Tell me your story. The 4th encounter happened to a park ranger named Marcus. He'd worked in the Smoky Mountains for over 15 years, seen a lot. Bears, storms, lost hikers, but nothing prepared him for what he found that night. He got a call around midnight. Campers reporting strange noises near their site, screaming, inhuman screaming. He grabbed his gear and headed out. The campsite was abandoned when he arrived. Tent still up, fire still burning, food left out, sleeping bags unzipped and empty. But no people. He called out, no response. He radioed in, said he was going to search the perimeter. That's when he found the footprints. Bare feet, human-sized, but wrong. The toes were too long, too spread out, and the stride, it was too wide. Like whatever made them had joints that bent differently, and they led deeper into the forest. Against his better judgment, He followed them. The trees got denser, darker. His flashlight barely cut through the shadows. The air smelled wrong, like wet earth and something else, something rotten. And then he heard it, breathing, heavy, wet right behind him. He spun around. Nothing, but the breathing didn't stop. It was coming from above. He aimed his flashlight up into the canopy, and there, crouched on a branch maybe 20 feet up, was something. It had arms, legs, a body, but the proportions were all wrong. The limbs were too long, the torso too narrow, and its head was too big, misshapen. Its eyes reflected the light, pale yellow, unblinking. Marcus didn't move, didn't breathe. The thing tilted its head, watching him, and then it opened its mouth. The sound that came out wasn't animal, wasn't human. It was both, a guttural clicking mixed with something that almost sounded like laughter. And then it dropped, landed on the ground without a sound. Marcus ran. He didn't remember the route back, didn't remember calling for help. All he remembered was running, branches tearing his uniform, lungs burning, the sound of something crashing through the brush behind him, always behind him. He made it back to his truck, locked the doors, hands shaking so bad he could barely start the engine. When backup arrived an hour later, they searched the area. They never found the campers, but they did find something else. Claw marks, deep gouges in the trees, bark stripped away, and at the base of one, a piece of fabric from a ranger's uniform. It wasn't Marcus's. It belonged to a ranger who'd gone missing 3 years earlier. The official report said animal attack. Bear, probably. But Marcus knew better. He'd seen bears, fought them off before. What he saw that night, that wasn't a bear. The fifth story comes from a couple who bought an old farmhouse in rural Tennessee. It was cheap, needed work, but they didn't mind. They were young, optimistic, ready to start their life together. The first few weeks were fine. They painted walls, tore up old carpet, fixed the porch. Then the noises started. Scratching in the walls, footsteps in the attic, doors opening on their own. They tried to rationalize it. Old house, settling foundation, animals. But then the voices began. Whispers, always at night, always when they were trying to sleep. The wife heard her name first. Soft, like someone standing right next to the bed. She'd wake up, heart racing, but no one was there. Just her husband, sleeping beside her. The husband started hearing it too. His name, over and over, in a voice that sounded like his mother. But his mother had been dead for 10 years. They tried to ignore it, tried to convince themselves it was stress, imagination. But then things started moving. Objects they'd left in one room would appear in another. Photos turned face down. Doors they'd locked would be standing wide open in the morning. One night, the wife woke up to find the husband standing at the foot of the bed. Just standing there, staring at the wall. She called his name. He didn't respond. She got up, touched his shoulder. He turned to look at her, but his eyes were wrong. Empty, glassy, like he was looking through her. And his mouth moved. But the voice that came out wasn't his. It was a child's voice. Why did you come here? She screamed. He blinked, came back to himself, looked around, confused. He didn't remember standing up, didn't remember speaking. They left the next morning, packed what they could, didn't even wait for sunrise. Never went back. 6 months later, they heard the house burned down. No cause found, no lightning, no electrical fire. But neighbors said they saw lights in the windows the night before, moving, flickering, like candles, even though no one was inside. The property still sits empty, for sale, but no one will buy it. The listing has been up for 3 years. The price keeps dropping, but locals know better. They know what happened there, and they know it's not over. The sixth encounter involves a group of college students, 4 of them, camping trip, Virginia backcountry. They set up near an old logging road, made a fire, laughed, told stories. Everything was normal until around midnight. That's when they heard the singing. Faint, distant, a woman's voice. Beautiful, but wrong. Like the melody was just slightly off. Like someone was singing a song they'd only half remembered. One of the guys joked about it, said it was probably someone else camping nearby. But the singing got closer, and closer, until it sounded like it was coming from just beyond the firelight. They all went quiet. The singing stopped. Silence. And then, from the darkness, a voice. Clear, close. Can I join you? No one answered. No one moved. Footsteps, slow, deliberate. And then she stepped into the light. A woman, maybe 30, long dark hair, pale skin, wearing a dress that looked old, like something from another time. Early 1900s maybe. Long sleeves, high collar. She smiled. "Thank you for the fire." No one had invited her. She sat down, right across from them. One of the girls asked where she came from. The woman just smiled wider. "I've been here a long time." They tried to make conversation, but her answers didn't make sense. She'd talk about things that happened decades ago like they were yesterday, mentioned people by name, places that didn't exist anymore, a mill that burned down in 1947, a church that was demolished in the 60s. And her eyes? They didn't blink. Not once. After maybe 20 minutes, one of the guys suggested they all turn in for the night. The woman stood up. "I should go too." She walked back into the darkness. No flashlight, no sound. Just gone. And then they heard her voice again, singing. But this time, it was coming from multiple directions, all around them, like there were dozens of her. The harmony was perfect, but impossible. They packed up, left everything, hiked back to the car in the dark, stumbling over roots, branches scratching their arms. When they reported it to local authorities, they were told stories like that weren't uncommon. People see her sometimes, the woman in white. Different places, different times, always the same. She appears, she sings, and then she's gone. But some people follow her, walk into the woods, chase the singing. They don't come back. Would you have stayed by that fire, or would you have run the moment you heard her voice? Let me know in the comments. The seventh account is brief, but no less disturbing. A truck driver named Ray was hauling freight through eastern Kentucky. It was 3 in the morning. He was tired but alert, knew the roads, had driven this route 100 times. He rounded a curve and saw something in the road ahead. An elk. Big one, just standing there. He slowed down, flashed his lights, honked. The elk didn't move. As he got closer, he realized something was wrong. The elk's legs, they were bent backward, and its neck was twisted at an impossible angle. But it was still standing, still staring at him. Ray stopped the truck. The elk's mouth opened, and it screamed. Not like an animal, like a person, like someone in terrible pain. Ray threw the truck in reverse and backed up until he could turn around. He took a different route, added 2 hours to his drive, reported it when he got to the depot. They sent someone to check. No elk, no body, no blood, nothing. But other drivers started reporting the same thing. The elk with broken legs, always in the same spot, always at night, and always screaming. One driver said he hit it, felt the impact, heard the crunch. But when he got out to check, nothing. No damage to his truck, no body on the road, just tire marks where he'd braked. And in the tree line, movement. Something watching, something that wasn't an elk anymore. The 8th and final encounter is the one that stays with me the most. A man named Thomas inherited his grandfather's cabin, deep in the Appalachian hollows. He hadn't been there since he was a kid, decades. He drove up to settle the estate, check the property, maybe fix it up and sell it. The cabin was exactly as he remembered. Small, rustic, surrounded by trees, a creek running nearby. He spent the day cleaning, going through old boxes, photos, letters. His grandfather had lived alone up there for 30 years. No electricity, no running water, just the cabin and the woods. As the sun set, he made a fire in the wood stove and settled in. That's when he found the journal. His grandfather's handwriting, entries going back 50 years. Most of it was mundane, weather, chores, visitors. But the last few entries, they were different. October 12th. Heard them again last night. Closer this time. October 15th. Saw tracks near the creek. Not deer, not bear. October 19th. They know I'm here. They come to the windows after dark. October 22nd. I see their faces now. They look like people I used to know. But they're not. They're not. The final entry was dated October 24th. If you're reading this, don't stay after dark. Don't look outside. Don't answer when they call your name. They'll sound like someone you love, but they're not. They're never who they say they are. Thomas closed the journal. It was already dark outside. He sat there listening. At first, nothing. Just the fire crackling, the wind in the trees. Then, knock, 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 on the door. He didn't move. Knock, knock, knock. Louder. And then a voice. His grandfather's voice. Thomas, let me in. It's cold out here. Thomas's blood went cold. His grandfather had been dead for 3 weeks. He'd been at the funeral. Thomas, please, I need help. The voice was perfect. Every inflection, every tone. Thomas gripped the journal tighter. The knocking continued. For hours. Sometimes at the door, sometimes at the windows, moving around the cabin, circling. Always the same voice. Always calling his name. sometimes begging, sometimes angry. He didn't sleep, didn't move, just sat there waiting for dawn. When the sun finally came up, the knocking stopped. He left immediately, never went back. A few months later, he sold the property. Didn't mention the journal, didn't mention what happened. The new owners lasted 2 nights. They said they heard knocking too, and voices of people they knew. People who were dead. The cabin sits empty now. No one will buy it, no one will stay. But locals say, if you drive past it at night, you can still see lights in the windows, shadows moving inside. And if you stop, if you listen closely, you'll hear the knocking and the voices. Calling, always calling. These mountains hold secrets, old ones, dark ones, things that don't want to be found, things that don't want to be forgotten. 8 encounters, 8 stories, all from the same wilderness, all connected by something we don't fully understand. Maybe it's the land itself, something ancient buried deep in the bedrock, something that was here long before humans ever set foot in these hills. Maybe it's the isolation, the way these mountains can swallow you whole, the way sound carries strange in the hollows, the way shadows move wrong in the corner of your eye. Or maybe, just maybe, it's something worse, something that wears familiar faces, something that speaks with familiar voices, something that knows your name before you ever speak it, something that waits in the dark and calls your name. If these stories gave you chills, if they made you think twice about those lonely mountain roads, then hit that like button and subscribe, because here at Chills from Reality, the fear doesn't end when the story does. It follows you home. It waits in the quiet moments, and sometimes it knocks on your door. Stay safe out there, and remember, not everything in the dark is just a shadow. Some of it is real, and some of it is waiting.